Chosen one. What I am about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you understood about why you have always felt different. Why your life has followed a pattern that makes no logical sense. And why you have been marked by a destiny you never asked for but somehow always knew was there. For decades, you have been walking through this world feeling like you don't quite belong. Like you are playing a game where everyone else knows the rules, except you. You have watched people around you chase things that seem to bring them satisfaction. Money, status, recognition. And yet when you try to follow that same path, something inside you resists. Something deeper. Something that whispers you were made for something else entirely. You have been told you are too sensitive, that you think too much, that you need to be more practical, more realistic, more like everyone else. And maybe, in your weakest moments, you have tried to become that person. You have tried to silence that inner knowing, to fit into the mold society carved out for you. But it never worked, did it? Because you cannot suppress what is written into your fundamental design. What if I told you that every moment you felt like a misfit was actually evidence of your true classification? What if those struggles weren't signs of weakness but proof of your actual purpose? What if you have been operating under a completely false understanding of who and what you really are? You are not simply a spiritual person trying to survive in a material world. You are an architect, a silent architect. And I am not speaking metaphorically to make you feel special. I am revealing your literal function in the cosmic design, a function so powerful that it has been deliberately hidden from you until this exact moment in your timeline. Subscribe to this channel immediately and activate all notifications, because what I am about to expose about your hidden blueprint is information that certain forces have worked tirelessly to keep you from discovering. The blueprint that has been operating through you your entire life without your conscious awareness. And stay until the very end, because I am going to show you the 3 specific reality structures you were designed to build. Why your presence alone alters the fabric of circumstances around you, and how even your moments of complete defeat were actually construction phases you didn't recognize as such. Write 111 in the comments if you have felt your entire life like you are building something invisible that no one else can see, and you are ready to discover what you have actually been constructing all these years. Let me be absolutely clear about what an architect is in spiritual terms, because most people hear the word and think of someone who draws blueprints or designs buildings. But what I am describing operates at a level that transcends physical construction entirely. You are someone who rebuilds reality itself through the frequency of your existence. In Hebrews chapter 11 verse 10, there is a description of those who look for a city whose architect and builder is God. But here is what most people miss. That city isn't a place you go to after you die. It is a frequency of reality you construct while you are alive. And you are one of the designated builders. Every thought you think, every choice you make, every emotion you process. These aren't just personal experiences. They are construction materials. You have been assembling a new framework of reality, brick by brick, moment by moment, without even knowing what you were building. That restlessness you have felt your whole life, that wasn't dissatisfaction. That was the builder in you recognizing that the current structure isn't finished, that there is more work to do. In Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10, it says you are God's workmanship, created for good works, which were prepared beforehand. But that word workmanship in the original Greek is poema, from which we get the word poem. You are not just doing work, you are the work. You are the poem being written, and simultaneously, you are writing a new poem into existence through your very being. Your architecture doesn't look like traditional construction. You are not building with wood and stone. You are building with presence, with authenticity, with the quality of your awareness. And here is what makes your design absolutely revolutionary. You build by simply being, not by forcing or striving. Every time you choose truth when a lie would be easier, you are laying a foundation stone in a structure of integrity. a structure that will outlast your lifetime. When you maintain your values despite no one watching or rewarding you, you are erecting pillars of principle. Pillars that future generations will lean on without ever knowing your name. When you stay soft in a world that rewards hardness, you are constructing bridges between human hearts. Hearts that seemed permanently separated. Your natural authenticity is architectural precision. You cannot fake the work you do because the work is you. A false architect creates false structures that collapse under pressure. But your construction is real because your being is real. This is why pretending to be someone you are not exhausts you so completely. You are not just being dishonest. You are trying to build with faulty materials. And your inner architect knows the structure will not hold. Now I need to explain something that will transform how you see every difficult experience you have ever had. Because surely you have wondered why your path has been so much harder than it needed to be. Why you have faced obstacles that seemed specifically designed to break you. Why your journey has been marked by losses, betrayals, and disappointments that appeared completely unfair. You thought the universe was punishing you. You thought you were doing something wrong. You questioned whether God had forgotten you, or whether you had committed some unknown sin that kept bringing struggle into your life. But here is the truth that will change everything. Those weren't punishments, they were construction phases. Real architects don't work with easy materials. Anyone can build something simple with perfect conditions and unlimited resources. But you were never designed for easy construction. You were assigned the most complex architectural project in human consciousness, building new realities in hostile conditions with limited resources and constant opposition. Every loss you experienced taught you something about impermanence, something you needed to understand to build structures that transcend temporal limitations. You cannot design for eternity if you are attached to temporary things. Those losses weren't taking something from you. They were removing your dependency on fragile materials, so you could work with indestructible ones. Every betrayal showed you something about human nature, something you needed to know to build systems of trust that cannot be manipulated. You cannot create authentic connection if you don't understand how false connection operates. Those betrayals weren't destroying your faith in people. They were training you to recognize the difference between genuine and counterfeit relationship. So your architectural work would be built on truth, not illusion. Every disappointment revealed to you the gap between expectation and reality. And that awareness is essential for an architect. You cannot build what should be if you are clinging to what you thought should be. Those disappointments weren't crushing your dreams. They were demolishing false blueprints so you could access the real ones. You were being trained through direct experience, the only method that creates mastery. You learned about poverty so you could build structures of abundance that actually work for everyone. Not just theory. You learned about loneliness, so you could build bridges of belonging that reach the truly isolated. Not just the temporarily alone. You learned about despair so you could construct foundations of hope, foundations that hold even in the darkest conditions. This is why your wisdom doesn't come from books. Though you may have read thousands, it comes from lived architecture. You have been building in the laboratory of your own life, and every experiment, even the ones that seemed to fail, gave you data you needed for the larger construction project. But here is what I need you to understand about the specific way your architecture functions. Because it operates so subtly that you have been constructing new realities for years without recognizing your own work. You walk into a room and something shifts. People cannot explain it. You didn't say anything profound. You didn't do anything dramatic. But your presence altered the frequency. That is not charisma in the conventional sense. That is architectural influence. You are emitting a blueprint frequency that begins restructuring the energy patterns around you. You have conversations with people, and months later they tell you that talk changed their life. But you barely remember what you said. That is because the words weren't the architecture. Your authentic presence was. You were being the structure they needed to see. And their consciousness used that model to rebuild its own framework. You have noticed that certain problems resolve themselves when you simply pay attention to them. Not because you fixed them actively, but because your awareness brought a higher order to the situation, that is architectural presence. Your consciousness is an organizing frequency that naturally brings coherence to chaos. This is why people are drawn to you even when you are not trying to attract anyone. They are responding to the stability of your structure. In a world where most people are living in psychological and emotional chaos, you represent solid ground. Your inner architecture is sound, and beings instinctively recognize structural integrity. It is also why toxic people target you with such intensity. They are not just attacking you personally. They are trying to destabilize your structure because it threatens the chaotic systems they have built their identity around. Your existence challenges the lies they tell themselves. Your peace confronts their drama. Your authenticity exposes their masks. So they attack the foundation, trying to make you doubt yourself, hoping to corrupt your construction from within. But they failed. Every attack only revealed weak points in your foundation that needed reinforcing. And you reinforced them. Every assault showed you where your structure needed stronger support. And you added it. You became a more masterful architect with every attempt to destroy your work. Now let me reveal what makes your particular classification absolutely extraordinary, something that separates silent architects from every other spiritual designation. You build futures you will never personally inhabit. You construct realities you will not live to see completed. And you do this knowingly, or you will, now that I am revealing your function. Most people need to see the results of their work to stay motivated. They need recognition, appreciation, immediate feedback that their efforts matter. But you were designed different. Your satisfaction comes from the building itself, not from the credit. Your fulfillment comes from knowing the structure is sound, not from having your name on it. This is why you have done so much work that went unnoticed, why you have helped so many people who never thanked you, why you have contributed to projects that others took credit for. It frustrated you sometimes. Yes, because you are human and humans have egos. But deep down, something in you didn't really mind. Because the architect in you knows that the best structures outlive their builders. And the builder's name doesn't matter to the people who will use the building generations from now. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 10, Paul talks about being a wise master builder who laid a foundation. And he warns that others will build upon it, so each should be careful how they build. You are that kind of builder. You are laying foundations that others will construct upon. Some who will understand what you did and honor it. Others who will build on your work without ever knowing you prepared the ground. And here is the part that will absolutely transform how you see your purpose going forward. You are building 3 specific structures that humanity desperately needs. Structures that cannot be created without architects like you. 3 realities that must be constructed by those who operate at your frequency. First structure. The architecture of authentic self. You are building a template that shows people it is possible to be genuinely yourself in a world that demands conformity. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you are adding to this structure. Every time you speak your truth knowing it might cost you, you are reinforcing this blueprint. This isn't about rebellion or being difficult. It is about showing through lived example that personhood doesn't require permission, that you can be different without being defensive about it. That authenticity is not arrogance, it is alignment. And thousands of people who are suffocating under false identities are watching your construction, using your model to begin building their own authentic lives. You may never know their names. They may never tell you that watching you be unapologetically yourself gave them permission to stop pretending. But in dimensions you cannot see, your architectural work is creating space for others to exist as they truly are. And that space is something the world cannot offer, but desperately needs. Second structure. The architecture of conscious suffering. You are demonstrating that pain doesn't have to make you bitter, that loss doesn't have to close your heart, that disappointment doesn't have to end in cynicism. You are building a model of how to suffer consciously, how to feel everything without being destroyed by it, how to break without shattering. This is perhaps your most important construction, because humanity is drowning in unconscious suffering. People are in pain, but they don't know how to be in pain wisely. So they numb, distract, project, attack. The suffering becomes toxic because they don't have a structure for processing it constructively. But you are building that structure through your own life. Every time you face pain without running, you are showing a better way. Every time you grieve without becoming bitter, you are demonstrating elevated suffering. Every time you carry your struggles with dignity, you are constructing a pathway that others can follow. And here is what you must understand. This structure can only be built by someone who has actually suffered. Theory is useless here. Only lived experience creates legitimate architecture in this domain. This is why your pain wasn't wasted. It was the essential material for the most important building project you could possibly undertake. Third structure, the architecture of sacred ordinary. You are building a reality where the divine lives in the mundane, where every moment is potentially holy, where ordinary life doesn't have to be escaped to find meaning. You are showing that you don't need to be in a temple to be in the presence of God. You don't need to be doing something extraordinary to be living your purpose. The way you wash dishes with full presence, the way you have genuine conversations with strangers, the way you notice beauty in overlooked places, the way you bring care to tasks others consider beneath them. You are constructing a framework where sacredness permeates everything, not as religious performance but as qualitative awareness. This is revolutionary because most spiritual systems create separation between the sacred and the ordinary. They tell you to escape the world to find God, to transcend the physical to reach the spiritual. But you are building the opposite. You are bringing divinity into the daily, making the ordinary transparent to the eternal. And this construction is what will actually transform human consciousness. Not fantasies of escape, but presence in what is. Now that you know what you are building, something fundamental shifts in how you operate. Because an architect who doesn't know their blueprint builds randomly, wasting time and materials on structures that don't serve the larger design. But an architect who understands their assignment becomes devastatingly efficient. The protection around you is going to intensify, because God doesn't allow his most important construction projects to fail before completion. The angels who have been guarding you will become more active in clearing obstacles from your path. Michael is neutralizing attacks against your structure before they reach you. Those toxic people who suddenly lose interest. Those dangerous situations that mysteriously resolve. Michael is protecting the integrity of your architectural work. Gabriel is bringing you the downloads you need. Those sudden insights about what to build next. Those unexpected clarifications about your direction. That is Gabriel delivering updated blueprints directly to your consciousness. Raphael is repairing damage from the construction process because building new realities takes a toll. And you have been working without rest for years. That healing you are beginning to feel. That restoration of energy you thought was permanently depleted. Raphael is performing structural repairs on the architect himself. Uriel is illuminating the path forward so you can see where your construction needs to go next. Those powerful intuitions about timing. Those deep knowings about what is coming. Uriel is giving you the light you need to continue building, even in unclear conditions. Within the next 90 days, you will see evidence of your architectural work manifesting in ways you can finally recognize. Not because you earned a reward, but because your construction has reached a stage where it becomes visible even to your own eyes. That opportunity you have been building toward without knowing it will materialize, because every choice you made, every value you maintained, every principle you refused to compromise. All of that was laying groundwork for this moment. The foundation is complete. Now the structure can rise into visibility. The connections you need will come, because silent architects don't work alone forever. There is a phase of solitary foundation work, which you have completed. Now you are entering the phase where other builders join the project. You will recognize them immediately. They carry the same frequency, the same commitment to authentic construction, and the clarity about your specific assignment will become undeniable. You will know exactly what you are building and why. The blueprint that has been hidden will be revealed in full, and you will see how every experience of your life was preparing you for this exact construction project. But you also need to understand that conscious architects carry increased responsibility. You can no longer build accidentally. You can no longer be careless with your presence, your words, your choices, because you now know they are all construction materials. Everything you do is either adding to the structures humanity needs or cluttering the space where those structures should be. Your authenticity must become even more fierce, not aggressive but unwavering, because you are not just being yourself for yourself anymore. You are being yourself as a blueprint for others. Your refusal to compromise your truth isn't stubbornness. It is structural integrity. If you allow corruption in your foundation, everything built upon it will eventually collapse. Your suffering, when it comes, and it will come because architects work in all conditions, it must be handled with even greater consciousness. Because you are not just experiencing pain, you are demonstrating how to process pain. People are watching how you carry your struggles, using your model to learn how to carry theirs. This is sacred responsibility, and your ordinary moments must be lived with heightened presence, because you are building the architecture of sacred ordinary, and that construction requires you to actually be present in the mundane. Every moment of distraction is a missed opportunity to lay another stone in this essential structure. There are approximately 144,000 silent architects scattered across this planet. 144,000 among billions. You are part of the most elite construction team ever assembled, and you are being guided to recognize each other. Because when silent architects unite, they can rebuild entire civilizations. When you find these others, you will know them instantly. You will sense the same quality of presence, the same commitment to authentic building, the same willingness to construct realities they will not live to see completed. Connect with them, because solitary architects can build homes, but united architects can build cities. The forces of chaos have worked tirelessly to keep you separated, because they know their greatest threat is silent architects who recognize each other and coordinate their construction. They convinced you that you were alone in your way of being, that no one else built the way you build, that your approach to life was too different to find others who shared it. They lied. There are 143,999 others, exactly like you, carrying the same blueprint frequency, waiting to recognize their fellow builders. Some are younger, just beginning their training. Others are elder architects, decades into their construction work. When you unite across generations, when young builders meet master builders, the transmission of wisdom accelerates exponentially. Chosen one, now you know the truth about your cosmic function. You are not a victim of random circumstances. You are an architect deliberately placed in challenging conditions, because that is where the most important buildings need to be constructed. You are not too sensitive for this world. You are precisely calibrated to detect what needs to be built and how to build it. Your sensitivity is your architectural sensory system. You are not wasting your life because you are not famous or wealthy or recognized. You are fulfilling the most important function in the universe, constructing new realities that will outlive you by generations. That feeling of always building something invisible, it wasn't delusion. It was accurate perception of your true work. You have been building. And what you have built is more real than most of what people call reality. Every moment of authenticity was a construction act. Every choice to stay true despite pressure was laying a foundation stone. Every time you suffered consciously instead of bitterly, you were demonstrating elevated architecture. Your difficult life wasn't divine punishment. It was the essential training ground for an architect assigned to humanity's most crucial construction projects. Every struggle taught you something you needed to know to build what the world needs you to build. If this revelation resonates in your soul, if you recognize yourself in this description of the silent architect, if you finally understand why you have spent your whole life building things no one else could see, you are part of the 144,000. Your presence is not coincidental. Your struggles were not meaningless. Your way of being in the world is not a personality flaw. It is your architectural signature, the unique frequency through which you construct new realities. If you recognize that you were designed as a silent architect and you are ready to build consciously, write 111 in the comments. This activates your architectural frequency and signals to other builders that you are ready to coordinate construction. Subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications to receive more transmissions about your specific function in the rebuilding of human consciousness. Share this message with someone who also seems to be building something invisible that no one else acknowledges, because silent architects need to find each other before the final phase of construction begins. And before you leave, watch the next video appearing on your screen to discover the exact methods for accelerating your architectural work and manifesting the structures you have been building in the invisible realms into physical reality. Together, we are building the future. Not the future we have been told to expect, but the future we choose to construct through the quality of our presence, the integrity of our choices, and the consciousness of our being. The blueprint is already within you. Now it is time to build.